Hey guys, Sarah here with SarahleeCrochet&Fabric. So I am making a doll dress. It's not really a tutorial, I'm just making it. I will link the pattern, which is a free pattern, and maybe you can make one too. Alright, so I mark all of my fabric when it's like this. The X is the wrong side. So just to make double sure. And then these are the sleeves of the dress. So what I do with these, since these are tiny, so I don't have to hem them after I complete the dress, I actually hem it before. So I roll it in twice, just like that, and then just sew it down. I don't do any pressing since this is doll clothing, so I'm not that stressed about it. I just kind of eyeball everything. So here I go. So there's the wrong side. I'm folding it in on the wrong side. And since I'm eyeballing, I'm going to kind of make sure it matches the one I just did as far as the size go. Just because I'm not doing any kind of pre-ironing or anything like that. Since it is just a doll item, but you certainly could if you like. That, yeah, alright, looks about right. And I always backstitch just to make sure it is secure. Okay, so this is how it looks now. This is the right side, and I had just sewn that. This is how I folded it in, and then this is the other one. So that's how it looks now. And so now it's time to attach them to the dress. So I want my right side of my dress facing up, and then I will be taking one of my sleeve and facing the right side on top of the right side of the dress. And then I'm just matching these corners here. My main priority, I think, after making these a few times, is to make sure this top matches this. If the sleeve on this end is a little off, that's not a problem because I will eventually sew this side, but the top is important. So I go ahead and just eyeball that. And I'm doing about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Just making sure I'm turning that corner a little slowly to make sure I give it a good curve there. Okay, cut those threads off. And I kind of like to work as I go, which is like trim everything. So with the sleeve, after sewing, I use my pinky shears to just cut any excess right then and there. And so this is how it looks so far. So this is body and this is sleeve. So now it's time to add the other body on. And with that, since this is the right size, I'm matching the right side of the body of the other fabric, the other piece of fabric, to the right side. So it's two right sides facing each other, and I make sure that that top is flush there, and then I am just sewing that again. Okay, like I said, I like to cut off my threads and then also cut off any excess fabric from the curve there and prevents any ripping or issue with the fabric unraveling. Okay, so the last piece left over is the arm, so I'm placing that right side facing right side again and sewing away. Guys, I got a brand new sewing machine, but I haven't even taken it out the box yet. Okay, cutting this. This thread matches this fabric so well, which is a good thing, but you can barely see it when I'm trying to cut it. All right, so we have this whole piece. So that was the body, a sleeve, a body, a sleeve, and then the final sewing right here on this part is to attach these two together, right side facing right side. Okay, so this is what it is looking like. I hope you guys can see it. I'm so sorry, my workstation is a bit little. So everything is still on the wrong side right now. So what you do is that you go over to one end of the sleeve. This is how it looks like. And I always like to just match the seam. And this is the sleeve right here. So I match the seam to that. And I'm going to sew all the way down. So I really, even if it's uneven a little bit at the end, you can always fix that with a hem. But I always try to make sure the sleeve part is even. And I'm just not pinning anything. You can if you want. Okay, and go ahead and do my pinky shears right now. Okay, and then now for the next side. Again, this is the sleeve. We're just matching those seams together, making sure it goes together with the sleeve, and then just sewing down. If it's a little off, it's not a problem. You will, like how maybe this is, it seems like it's a little off right here. It's not a problem. You will just go ahead and sew it down, and then we will just cut that off as excess. That's the thing with doll clothes, at least when I'm making it. I don't stress as much like if I'm making clothes that I'm wearing. Get rid of some of these threads here. Okay, so what I like to do, I like to go ahead and do the hem and get that over with. And with the hem, since I'm still on the wrong side, I just roll it up. I have like this little loner gnat and little gnat or fly, I don't know what it is, but it is driving me nuts. Okay, so with the hem I just fold it in twice. So okay, get it started here, and then I'll just eyeball it as I go. And I'm just making sure that I'm not sewing on the other part of the fabric. So I'm just checking the bottom there. Okay. I will go back later and do more trimming. But for now, this is what we have. And so now it is time to make the top of the dress, which we will be putting a 1/8 of an inch elastic. So we have to make that casing for it. So let me start that. So what I do with this part, since I'll be doing the elastic casing, I go ahead and fold it up first fold it up once, and then sew all the way around, just to try to get everything even, and then I come back and fold it again for the 1/8 elastic casing, and then sew that again and add the elastic. So I'm still on the wrong side, so that's what I'm working with still. Okay, get rid of some of these threads. And I just keep one of these close to my workstation, because you know when you're sewing you end up with so many threads. So I just keep one of those. Alright, so we have that sewn right now, and then now I'm going to sew it, allowing a 1/8 of an inch elastic. So that's about, I kind of eyeball it, so I just kind of do that. And then of course you will leave about an inch that you don't sew, so you can put the elastic through. Okay. So again, I'm just eyeballing it, no big deal. This machine struggles sometimes when it gets to the seams. Okay, so I'm back here where I left my about an inch. And it is time for my elastic. I cut about, I usually don't even measure, guys. I just eyeball it. But let's say a 9-inch. Yeah, let's say that. And I'm just putting my elastic on this needle, darting needle, because it's such a thin elastic, it fits. So there is my casing. So I am just going to attach my needle, hoping that I didn't sew any parts too small for this thin elastic. But let's hope. Darn it. Let's see what I did right. I didn't grab my elastic at the end, and it went right through. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, put that on in there. Usually I hold my elastic. I don't know why it's a little tight in there. Went through obviously just fine. Okay. Alright, I have to use my grips there to yank that through. Alright, so now I have both the elastic, finally. I kind of just eyeball it, and then I tie it off with about an inch left over or whatever. I think looks okay. As you can see, I'm winging most of this, so it's not like an exact science. And I just tie it real tight, chop off the ends and then just kind of make it even. And I'm still on all of the wrong sides still, so okay, so I just get that in there, the best I can. So the elastic's in there now. This is the hole that was left over, and now I'm just gonna sew that shut on the machine. Get my machine ready again. I think this is the worst part I dislike about sewing is all the threads. Oh my goodness. Okay. And so it is about done. Mine is cutting all the threads. I will put her on the mannequin and show you guys a picture because this little space just will not do justice. But pretty much this is the little dress.